Alright, this video is going to be about making money with electricity. Alright, there's several ways you can go about doing this. You can just use it to cut back on your electric bill, or even completely remove your service plan to an electric company, go off the grid essentially. Or, I mean, you could set it up so you're selling electricity back to the grid. I believe that's what I just said, but you could even get that to the point where you're making a decent chunk of money. I know you're limited to a certain amount per household because MG&E just doesn't want one person, generating tons and tons of electricity to sell it back and basically taking advantage of it. But essentially, yeah, you could do that to start, and you could work your way up to a full-time business. A business could range from, for example, making a wind farm, which would be a bunch of wind turbines on a big area, and combine them all and sell the electricity back to the grid or directly to customers even. You could do that with solar panels too. You could combine the two. You could buy pre-made wind turbines off eBay, or you could buy wind turbines that you have to assemble. You could even create your own and just buy a bunch of direct current motors off eBay for dirt cheap, for like $20 a motor, and then just make your own windmills, or even you could do water power too, basically. Basically, if you got a running stream or anything, you're golden. You just make a water wheel for that, and you're set. And you can do that with a bunch of small water wheels, and then run them all to one big thing to charge. Or, what I was thinking, there's things out there called perpetual motion machines, and there's one that's basically you run water through it, right? And it's just basically like it's like a funnel with a hose instead of just a funnel where it just lets out. It's a hose, and you wrap the hose back around and put it into the funnel, so all the water that comes out of the funnel cycles around back into the top and powers itself. Well, if you combine that with a water wheel, I mean, you could basically have a thing that's generating you electricity that runs off nothing but water, and it continuously run, if not close to. You might have to fill it like once a day or something like that. But once it starts going, it'll just be bringing you in money, and I mean, that's huge. I mean, you can do things like that, turn it into a full-time business. Selling electricity is huge. The only thing bigger than that is the automotive industry. And I mean, it's not going anywhere either. And yeah, there's been huge breakthroughs in the future, in the recent years, about generating electricity. Now the hard part is storing it for everybody. So if somebody could come up with an awesome new battery idea, that would be a billion-dollar idea for sure. Because we're 10 steps ahead of generating electricity as we are storing it. So you could use that to your advantage too. You can just generate enough electricity to run all your things, and then just skip the storage process. Basically, you could use like a bicycle to power your stove, or a bicycle to power your washing machines, and then have solar panels to power your fridge, and have a wind turbine to generate electricity that you store on batteries, etc. And you can always use that electricity to power machines to make money, like light bulbs to grow plants. There's just so many ways to make money off of it, but you can also just do the easy one, sell it back to the grid, or go ahead and start your own business and either sell directly to customers or set up a thing with your local electric company where you generate a bunch of electricity for them. I know that an individual household is limited, but if you start a business or something of the sort, I'm sure that there's no limit. Just demand, supply and demand. And yeah, there's tons of different ways. Basically, you got the electric bike, or the electric generator bicycle, basically pedal. It spins a direct current motor, which generates electricity, which you can then store on batteries or use to directly power something. Here's one of the more fancy ones. This is pretty expensive setup, but you can order one of these offline. And they got technology built into there, almost like an X-Brain yo-yo. So basically, once you get the thing spinning, it keeps spinning with very little effort. You just got to keep it going. Basically, you crank the thing like 10 times, and it's going to be spinning like crazy. Then you just got to rotate the pedals once or twice every now and then, like every 10-20 seconds. And the thing will just continuously be generating electricity. yeah, you could even start a gym like that. You could start a gym with a ton of exercise equipment that also generates electricity. Do a double whammy, or market your products. Say you create electric bikes that generate, or you create workout bikes that generate electricity, and market them to gyms, either to save them money or to earn them money by selling electricity too. And yeah, there's tons of things out there. I don't think there's any gyms out there that are really doing that yet, so that'd be kind of a fresh new idea. Plus, you could use a slogan like "Going Green, Saving the Earth," etc., because you're generating clean energy, which is huge nowadays. We really need to start focusing more on things like that versus fossil fuels and things that just pollute the shit out of the atmosphere, and etc. Basically, we need to get away from just doing what's easiest and doing what makes the most energy for the least amount of effort, and turn around and start building things like solar panels that generate electricity, wind turbines that generate electricity, nuclear power plants, of course, but there's also this different type of plant that's going to be coming out. I forget exactly what it was or what it's called even, but it's basically like nuclear power, but it runs off of something way. Basically, there isn't any radiation from it or nothing like that. It's a substance they use in it. It's like as common as dirt. It's like, I forget, it's ridiculous, but basically there's no way we could ever use up all of this substance, or what do you even call that? All of this element, essentially. Because also they have it on planets like Mars and the Moon. It's everywhere, basically. And they can use this stuff to basically generate electricity almost on the scale of nuclear power. So that's going to be future right there. But I mean, there's also going to be huge on other things, like just generating enough electricity for small things. Like you can have cars that basically charge themselves as they go because the wheels are spinning, you can tap into that and turn around and generate electricity just from the spinning wheels, then turn around and use that to charge your electric battery. So you're using a very minimal amount of electricity, potentially even get to the point where you generate more electricity than it takes to run the car. I'm sure people probably came out with stuff like that, but you know how that goes, Gonna take down the number one industry in the world, which is automotive, and come out with something that's gonna completely change everything and basically throw everything into chaos by putting automotive companies out of business. That'd just throw the whole world economy into a fucking chaos, and potentially, potential carnage. Could potentially end up with the infrastructure of the economy in the world essentially collapsing if a big industry like that took a huge hit. So, I mean, people who come out with patents and come out with a car that's going to power itself, or a car that runs off water, I mean, these guys are going to show up, and they used to anyway. Now that ever since 2015, they had a slow release of free energy to the public, and they're slowly releasing things more and more. But essentially, like back in the day, they couldn't have something like that happen. So they just, if the guy who came out with the patent wouldn't take a bribe or wouldn't let them buy him out or whatever, well, that guy would generally go missing, because, I mean, he's essentially threatening government, establishment, other people's businesses, of course, automotive business owners, and it'd be affecting everybody, essentially, by coming out with something like that. But at the same time, how worthwhile would it be to have something like that? I think that it's messed up that they didn't just let people create things like that, because that could have revolutionized the entire world. Same thing with Nikola Tesla's pulling electricity out of the ionosphere instead of alternating current, what's his name? I don't remember if it's Edison or whoever, but essentially J.P. Morgan. They couldn't put a meter onto Tesla's invention, so there's no way they could basically sell the electricity, because there'd be infinity electricity for everybody to use for free, and all they'd need to do is buy something to tap into that electricity in the ionosphere. Well, J.P. Morgan was a big funder of that, and he was a big crook, and he basically painted Nikola Tesla to look crazy and slowly drove him, might have drove him mad, all his colleagues and peers. He was a famous, respectable scientist, and then he got media bashed, and basically his whole career got thrown out the window because of greed. JP Morgan, greedy. But anyway, back to the story here. There's tons of things you can get out there now. You like the electric workout bicycle. You generate electricity with that, or you can get things like this. Meet the Elf, a pedal-powered solar power, or a solar electric hybrid. So basically you use solar power, the wheels generate money, plus there's pedals in this thing which generate electricity, plus it's like an electric bike built into this thing. So I mean, yeah, there's tons of different ways to power this thing, and it doesn't cost crap to run. Basically the future of transportation right there. And you got things like, I don't know, human-powered workout gym concept. Yeah, that's the one that I was talking about, or be a gym that generates electricity. Forget solar power, human power is the future. Yeah, that comes back to the one where I was talking about exercise bikes. Perhaps you could line 3 of these exercise bikes up that generate electricity. Hop on one, get it up to full speed, hop off and jump on another, do the same thing. And potentially combine that with hand cranks as well that you can get spinning to generate electricity. And I mean, you could potentially, what I'm interested to find out in this experiment with that is, would you be able to potentially generate enough electricity to make, like, say, $15 an hour, basically anything over 10. Because if you can do that, then you could set up like a business, like I was saying. It'd almost be like a gym, but anybody could just show up, just sign into a thing, and go ahead and start pedaling and cranking out electricity. Then when you're done for the day, just say finish, and then you could get paid right there on the spot, just like an ATM pays you. And that'd be sweet, I think, have it set up so anybody could just show up, generate electricity, and get paid for it at any time of day. I mean, that'd be killer. Plus, if you're the one who set it up, you know, if you could set that up and say pay somebody $10 an hour to be generating this electricity, but you're making 15, I mean, hell, you could even set it up so it's not by the hour too. You pay the people who are spinning the things by the kilowatt, so that way they're pushed to generate electricity as fast as possible in order to make money. That way you don't get somebody like scamming you basically by going really slow, and he's just milking out the hourly wage. You know how it goes with that. Everybody's done it. And yeah, you can also get a pedal-powered laptop. I mean, it's the same concept. You're just using pedals to basically charge a battery. And I mean, you can do that with so many different types of things too. Or you can just charge batteries with it, of course, and then use those to power anything, essentially. Alright, some things that'd be great just to get started into the electricity business, or just get started saving money even on electricity. Just get like a hand crank batteries, basically. You can get these things that charge cell phones right here. These aren't very good, though. I recommend just not even bothering with those. They're too small scale. Here's the one that I ordered. It's just a cheap piece of crap. I mean, you can charge a phone, but it takes like an hour. Not really worth it. Maybe for an emergency, it'd be good to have one of those. But you can also get like a solar and hand crank powered radio. So I mean, you use a solar panel to charge the battery in the radio, or you crank the hand crank to charge it. Perfect for emergencies. I mean, plus it's got a cell phone charger built into it, stuff like that. I mean, you could power stuff with that. But I still like the idea of coming up with something like that, but only it's like you spin one crank, it spins what would it be? Let's see how the bikes work. You spin one large crank to start, and then that spins another smaller crank and a smaller crank, essentially just getting things, once you start spinning this thing, it has all these other cranks and shit to basically essentially make it so it doesn't require any effort to spin the thing first off, and second off, make it so you're generating the maximum amount of electricity possible, just like I was saying with the X-Brain yo-yo or that other workout bike. the thing, once you get it spinning, there's technology built into that to keep it spinning, essentially. There's tons of things out there like that. I'm sure there's ones that aren't patented, or you can potentially even pay somebody for use of the patent if you're going full scale starting a business. And yeah, even if you don't want to start a business, you know, it's a great habit to get into. Or I recommend ordering to start would be like one of these 12-volt charger things. Basically, it has a battery built into it, and you can charge it. You can either plug it into a wall, do whatever. I don't think this one in particular has a solar panel, but some do. And I mean, you could hook this up to your electric, your workout bike that generates electricity. And I mean, just a second here. And yeah, once you got that set up, you can charge things like this and use it to power anything. Because you can see here it has a direct current outlet, which would be like a car lighter. It has like a 12-volt thing, or whatever. It's basically like a wall socket outlet, basically. Just things you would plug a normal appliance into. And I mean, it has a battery charger, like a USB port, of course, then a mini USB for cell phones, etc. And it looks like there's even a couple other plugs on here that are different things that you could power things with. Basically, this thing has like 10 different things on here that you can power things with, 10 different types of outlets. And yeah, that's a great one to start with, is this one, because you can charge anything with it. And it also has a thing for jumping your car. So I mean, it's worthwhile buying this just to throw in your trunk, just for emergencies and such. And yeah, jumpstart a car with this thing too is pretty sweet. Anyway, that's a great thing to order. And I'd also recommend ordering the power banks like this, that are basically a power bank for a phone, because these are where you're going to get the most MAH for your buck. Basically, you can get these, and they go up to quite a high amount nowadays. But when you're searching on eBay, be sure to do a thorough search, because there's a lot of scam artists and con men on here. And basically what they'll do is they'll start a new eBay account, and they'll sell like an 80,000 MAH charger for $5 or $6, when really they're going for 20. And I mean, it's obvious that it's that much underpriced, but what's happening here is these people are going to get a bunch of people to buy these, and then they're just not going to ship out any of them. They're basically just conning people. And it's a numbers game. They get, say, 100 people to buy these things from, like, say, I don't know, 10 out of that 100 of them won't even ask for the refund. So they made, I don't know, $50, and all that happens is their account gets shut down. Pretty big scam that goes on eBay, so watch out for that with any type of product, but especially these are big for that. But yeah, you get those, and a lot of them have solar panels built right into them, so like I was saying, you just store them on the dash of your car or something, so they're constantly getting charged. Maybe buy 5 of them, so by the time one battery dies, they'll all be recharged simply by solar power. And yeah, you can also, like I said, just go into McDonald's and charge a bunch of batteries too, if that's how you want to do it. And yeah, that's basically the energy business I was thinking about here. And yeah, you can use it just to get rid of your MG&E bill, which is the electric company. That's our electric company, is MG&E here in Wisconsin. And yeah, you could use that to either get rid of your company, or else you could use it to cut back on your bill, or you could use it in order to sell electricity back to the grid. Or, I mean, you know, you could even take it one step further and start a business involving power. I think it's an industry that's not ever going to go anywhere, that's for sure. And another thing I was thinking too, I almost forgot about this part. You can take those solar panel ones like this with the 3000 MAH or whatever. You're going to really want to get one that's like 80,000 MAH for like, they're only like $25, $30 on eBay. And yeah, you can get those with solar panel or not. And I recommend getting the solar panel for this idea. You basically just build this into appliances. you basically plug a light bulb into this power pack, right? And then you're going to have the solar panel built right into the battery. So essentially, you take a light, right? You take a fixture for a light, or a lamp, essentially. You take a lamp, you take this battery pack, and you plug the lamp into the battery pack, right? Now what you're going to want to do is have that solar panel part is going to be your main selling part for making these appliances. You turn around and make these solar powered appliances simple as just plugging something into this battery, which already has a solar panel built into it, and then just having that solar panel visible. And you can also have like all the little charger ports visible too, I'd recommend. So you can market it as, say, a lamp that charges itself, and you can charge your cell phones through it too, you know, market it that way. And yeah, essentially by doing that, you can essentially turn anything into a solar power appliance. Anything that doesn't really take too much energy, you know, you can do this with. Or you could do it for things that do require more energy, like a fridge. You do it on a bigger scale and just have large size solar panels that you'd have to put on the roof of your house or outside. And yeah, as long as your solar panel pulling in more power than your fridge would take to run, then you could just simply have your fridge hooked up to a solar panel. Or maybe just get, like, say your fridge needs, I don't know, 110 volts or whatever to run. Just get your solar panel set up so it's 220 volts. So then even if it's like a cloudy or rainy day, you're still going to be pulling in enough juice to power your fridge, and you never have to worry about it shutting down or anything. Great way to live. But I mean, yeah, you can turn that around and turn it into a business very easily by upscaling it. You can create the appliances like I was saying. You can sell electricity back to the grid. You can just use it to save money, or I mean, you could build a house somewhere and live off the grid. I mean, if you got your own free electricity, that's one of the most important things with living. People underestimate electricity and how valuable it really is, you know. Most powerful people in the world are those guys out there who control the energy business. Oil, you know, coal, any type of energy, basically. And the automotive business is only one larger than that. I mean, it's the same people, basically, who run that. But yeah, my YouTube video there, and highly recommend people getting into the electricity business, even if it's just a part-time hobby or way to save money. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys have any feedback or questions, or perhaps another idea of how to make money with electricity. And of course, and just like I said, you know, get this electricity, generate it for free or somehow, or use a wind turbine or solar panel, something that'll continuously generate electricity for free after purchasing it. And yeah, you can use that electricity to power other machines, like, say, a grow light to grow a plant and resell that, or grow fruit or whatever. That's just huge. There's just limitless potential, and basically the sky's the limit. As creative as you are, be how much money you can make and which way this business could really go. Anyway, thanks again for checking out my YouTube channel, and best wishes to all, and hope you guys make some money. Take care, bye.